Newscum.
Newscum.
Right. What did you say is on today?
Oh yeah, I didn't give
What
you
are we doing?
I didn't give you a agenda, did I? But of course,
You
as
said
you
we were
were-
going to talk about the Labour Party, but that's goes
I don't think I
saying.
even said that.
We always talk
Just
about
safe with
that.
assumption, but I mean,
Okay,
as
go
you
on.
know, any good agenda begins with a look at the minutes from last time. And the agenda is sort
Yeah.
of formed out of that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
well, I can tell you what was in the minutes last night. We talked about the fucking Labour Party again and whether Jeremy Corbyn is going to get in and whether he's any good or not and
We did.
whether
We
he
did.
fucked up or
I
not.
remember we didn't
And we're
actually
going to do
talk.
that again this
No, we
time
didn't
and
talk
next
about
time.
that last time. Actually,
It's
You've
like
got
the
one-
Fast and this is like the Fast and the Furious.
You've got
It's just
one-
repeated.
you've got one job, and you're terrible at it.
I
felt
just
quite sorry for you
photocopied
for
the minute. I photocopied the minutes from the first
You
time
haven't
we
fucking
did the show,
ever
and,
written the
and
minutes.
it's just the same. I've photocopied it 50 fucking times.
Anyway, how about let's introduce the show, eh? And let's try and do it properly
Welcome
like that.
to Newscum.
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 This country's
Premiere.
the music's
Hang on,
already.
let's do it like improv. Yes, and
The music is already. This is post the music.
okay. So, but yeah, we do then we talk. So we go this, and then you go is or something like that.
No. But
Oh,
this
okay.
this is
This is the
only
news
podcast
that
is
not
pro
Earth
but
professional
professional. Good. Great
and
fucking save.
seen.
I was going to say it's the only anti-Zionist pro-plastic straw podcast in Britain.
Yeah.
But hey, Matt,
Yeah.
did you see
Yeah.
Tom Nicholas's new
Yes,
video essay?
Yes and no, I didn't. What was it about? Oh,
Wait,
yes, I did. The one you sent me.
Yeah, you said you saw it.
Yes, and it was about 50 minutes long, and it was all about the sort of parallel political lives of Nigel Farage and Keir Starmer.
What
And
did you
how
say?
they-
Wait a second. What, parasitical?
No, I said it's about the parallel lives.
parallel, sorry.
Political lives of Nigel Farage and Keir Starmer, our
Mhm.
Keir.
Yeah.
And how they have very different approaches to politics in terms of following their gut or trying to push their agendas or whatever, but they've ended up being kind of mortal enemies, really. But at the same time, Starmer kind of adopting a lot of the policies of Nigel Farage.
Yeah, I think that's a good analysis because it is a bit nonsensical, which I think you capture very right
Thanks,
there, and
yeah.
it kind of comes together. It looks like it's coming together in some way, but it isn't really. Having said that, look,
Yeah, it was a little bit like an Adam Curtis documentary.
I was gonna say
it whacked on a narrative over the
it's
top.
not
I
like
still liked
it's
it,
not
though. I
like
liked it.
an Adam Curtis documentary. I would say.
Well, I think it was like an Adam Curtis documentary.
I liked it though. I enjoyed it.
Yes, and I did.
I'd
too.
just like to say, shut up. I'd just like to say that it was good and I got a lot out of it. Particularly, he went over the archives. In this regard, it was like Adam Curtis and delved into some stuff that I'd forgotten and stuff I'd not seen before. I've not actually ever seen any stuff of Nigel Farage on I'm a Celebrity. So that was interesting to see. But anyway, having said all of that, now that we've said that it was good and we enjoyed it, we can now massively shit on it, which is obviously the reason that I wanted to talk about it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because my first question for you, Matt Alford, is what do you think about Tom Nicholas's presenting style? Does it, after a while, start to grate on you? Or do you find it to be quite good and draw you in so that you listen more. Personally, I find that very quickly, the way that he talks, the affected way that he ends every sentence, makes me want to kill myself and kill maybe others.
Yes,
Those close to me, friend or foe, women and children, everyone and anyone I've ever met.
who's that historian who speaks like that? Oh, it's Simon Sharma. I'm thinking of Simon Sharma.
I'm thinking of Tom Nicholas.
So just thought you were sending it me to be like, hey, look at this. And I was like, yes, and I like that. And so I just didn't really watch it with a critical eye. I didn't notice anything bad about his presenting
I like,
style.
yeah, I said we're going to talk about the podcast.
Yeah,
You didn't watch it with a
I might
critical
have
eye.
missed, might
What?
have missed it. No, I saw it. Uh,
You didn't watch
uh,
it.
I
Did you
did. Yeah,
watch it?
I did watch it. I just wasn't
Uh,
watching it with the like. I wasn't being like, oh, fucking Tom Nicholas.
that's a critical
So,
eye. I watched
and
it.
also,
I
it's like,
just said it was
how can you
good.
get
I
annoyed at
enjoyed
someone's
it. I told you
presenting
this.
style in a 50 fucking minute thing? He's not exactly like been on TV every day. He's just doing a podcast for 50 minutes. I imagine people get pissed off at us after a few episodes, right, guys? Maybe. Oh god, they're always fucking around and they're annoying.
Yeah, well, look,
You can't criticize some fucking guy's presenting stuff, particularly when you're like, oh yeah, I agree with everything he says and it's really
I
good
don't
quality
agree with
production.
everything he says. What's that? A
Get onto that
completely
then, rather than
twisting.
style over substance
No,
bullshit.
well,
Get on with
well,
what's your problem with it? I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fine. I thought it was better than fine. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was really good. But you want to
I thought it was the
nitpick the
best
fuck out of
fucking
it.
thing I've ever seen. All
Sorry,
right.
Tom Nichols. I know you
What
must
is
be
your problem with
clamoring at the
just
bit to watch this
looking at
fucking
something
critique.
and saying, this I thought was good and this I thought was bad?
Okay,
What
well, and
is
what was
wrong with
bad?
that?
What was wrong with it? What was wrong with it?
Well, one of the things I found quite annoying was the way that he
Was it
presented
repetitive?
and the hand movements as well. I mean, I gesticulate, but it's so measured, so controlled. And look, I've made stuff that's similar. I've made sort of similar video essay type stuff, and I know how difficult it is, and probably much more difficult for me because I'm much worse at it than him. But you know, when you're doing something on your own to camera, you feel really stupid, and it's really hard to get the words out, and it takes 100 takes, and you have to like cut it really finely because you end up looking away from the camera after you've finished speaking. You're so relieved that you've got the sentence out without fucking it up. And
Yes.
so I admit I watch all of these things with like a really fucking harsh judgment and some sort of PTSD about when I used to attempt to make actually quite good and comprehensive videos like this. The problem with it though is I think the presenting style, the effective presenting style is ridiculous, and I don't know what that's about really.
Mm.
Um, but obviously that's not my main issue with it. The main issue, I mean, well, it's partly is because what it pertains to, the reason I guess he's doing it, probably unthinkingly. He probably hasn't thought about this documentary as much as I have, I imagine. And the reason that he's sort of, because this isn't the first time, this is what he does every time, just relentlessly does this thing. And it does is almost to the point that it's taking the piss because it's so kind of over the top. But it is the kind of affected rhythms sort of structure of a sentence that you do get on, as you say, like Simon Sharma or something that's sort of media trained people to
Yeah.
present stuff, and it seems very dated these days. It seems very 90s, but it also seems very establishment. It's kind of gives that air of this is of polish, and therefore because stylistically it looks very much like something you would see on the BBC.
Mm.
Therefore, the information that you're getting is of that quality, which I
Yeah.
would say is probably actually better. but the subtle thing is not that the quality is better or worse, but what people see as being a kind of the political view that you would expect to be expressed from the BBC has come out of rigorous political debate and research and
Yeah, which
understanding
it
of the
obviously
world,
hasn't. It's just
which it
sort of
hasn't.
a sheen of professionalism.
Right. And so
But
he's got that. And I think this is subconsciously because
he's
he is
being BBC. We're more like BBD,
who
or
we
maybe
are.
yeah, BB
Well, I'm not making any.
BBU,
I'm not making any like real.
ungraded, or maybe more like CD. Didn't turn up to the second paper.
Anyway, what were we? You, what you say something about it then? I don't know. I've said
What
some.
didn't you? Well, I know. I just want you to know. Want to know what you disagreed about on the substance of the fucking
Well, it's very
show.
difficult because I don't really know what his point was. Although I did write some things down.
Well, that's true.
Do you want to know what I wrote down
It was
as well?
basically I've got Keir Starmer and I've got the leader of UKIP's, and I'm going to try and make a story out of them. And you can't really make a story out of them because they haven't fucking like met, don't do anything together. It's like this is the story of the princess and the guy she never met, like Sleeping Beauty,
The
but
guy
without
she never met.
the guy, but without
Sounds like a Morrissey
the
song.
beauty and the beauty
Like
and the beast.
the love of your life is out there, but you'll never meet them. You'll never
Yeah,
see them.
because he's in number 10 Frowning Street.
Nice.
Okay.
Brilliant.
If you're listening, Mr. Morrissey, you can have that one for free.
Frowning Street is the kind of shit Morrissey
That's the kind of
title that he would
yeah.
put on his albums these days.
Number 10 Frowning Street.
I could totally see that. Tom Nicholas, right? What does he say? Well, there's some things that he kind of comes out with that, again, I wonder what he's actually thinking. They just kind of he just throws them out there. Like, for example, um, well, okay, let's start with the title. The title of the video on YouTube is "How the Far Right Took Over Britain."
Yeah.
But then, if you watch the actual video, when it comes up with the chapters, it's got
Mm.
the title he's actually edited in a long time
Yeah.
ago, which is "The Men Who Broke British Politics."
Yeah.
So presumably that's the link,
Yeah.
but I'm not really sure how Starmer broke British politics. Or, I mean, I
No, he
am
fixed it.
personally. No, he definitely didn't do that. But I don't see anything in this documentary that explains that. But one thing he says early on is he's talking about Starmer's Pebble Dash semi. He doesn't say it
Oh
exactly.
no, it's not the thing he didn't pay
It's
for
got to be
again.
YouTube friendly, but he alludes to it,
I've never
and
paid for my Pebble Dash Sammy,
he says that
and
they
that's why the Ukrainians are after me.
it would be amazing if all of the everything that's going down in Ukraine is based on Starmer's debts to society.
Ah, oh dear.
Do you want to hear what he said?
Hmm.
So he talks about Starmer, lower middle class, whatever the fuck he was, ends up becoming a lawyer, ends up becoming head of the CPS, and he says, Tom Nicholas says, for all these kind of reasons, basically, this is exactly the sort of person we're led to believe should become prime minister. And I like who is we in
Mm,
that sentence, and who is the omitted subject because he's using the passive.
yeah.
Who is leading us to believe this? And it's that kind of like I
Who do you infer from that?
I don't know because in a way, right, the video is kind of a bit anti-Starmer.
Yeah.
Agree. And in fact, the sort of people that I would say lead us to believe that he should be the right kind of prime minister are people like Tom Nicholas. Because in his previous video, he talked. We're going to get 10 minutes left of this, by the way. If anyone who doesn't watch this is watching for the first time, we do these on Zoom. Don't even fucking look into it, right? That's just how it is. Anyway, so he in his last video was like how the Tories ruined the country or something like that. And it just goes through each of the Tory prime ministers over the last decade and talks about the different terrible things they did, starting with Cameron's Brexit, um, Boris Johnson's pandemic corruption, Liz Truss breaking the economy, um, Rishi Sunak just not being white. I don't know, something like that, right? Anyway, so he goes he goes through them all, and then it like the whole thing is like, could this be the moment that we now get a Labour government in who's going to sort out this mess? He's very much on, I mean, not explicitly, but he's very much kind of supporting, giving kind of um ammunition to the sort of people that were pushing for Starmer's Labour government to come in. And as they did, right? So it's weird. I mean, it's not weird. I think it's kind of interesting that now, I think Tom Nicholas, he's very much is following what's happening in terms of that kind of center left liberal consensus. And he was there for that. And now he's here for the Starmer backlash. Um,
Mm.
but I do think it's interesting that I don't know who he's talking about in that particular thing. Anyway, then he
Probably
also
his
said,
probably his parents.
because then he goes on, he's quite, his parents. Yeah.
Well, will be, won't it?
So he's led to believe we're, as in me and my siblings, were led to
Yeah.
believe that Keir Starmer should be the prime minister by fucking parents who won't fucking die and give us the house. I could see that. You know, when you're an editor, you know what's been cut, and I could see that was the next.
Oh, right. Yeah, you inferred, but you were very confident inference.
Yeah, I could tell that was what was cut. Anyway, then he says, but I mean, he's got some interesting, like, again, he doesn't fully get into it, but he basically explains that the whole narrative around the fact that Keir Starmer came up with the Brexit policy for Corbyn's Labour Party that ended up destroying their election
Yep.
chances. And then he
Hmm.
says this should have ended whatever political ambitions Keir had.
Mm.
He doesn't go on to say why it didn't, which is
Mm.
interesting. Because I would argue the reason that it didn't is because the whole problem in the Labour Party
Yeah.
had nothing to do with anti-Semitism. It was a factional war, and
Hmm.
Islam was on the right side of that faction.
Yeah, and also played a very canny game on the whole thing. Like when he, was it that Tom Nichols was talking about when there's the coup against Corbyn, and then uh, Starmer doesn't join the coup, but does the day after it's ended. And
Exactly. Yeah. No, he does. He brings that
so
up. He
that's
brings that
interesting,
up.
isn't
Yeah.
it? What a political player. I mean,
Yeah. Because then he goes. I
so,
mean, he talks about the weaponization of anti-Semitism statement that Corbyn made
mm,
that got him kicked out, and he brings up the Ford report. And I mean, he goes further than I think is actually arguably true. He says that the Ford report, commissioned by Starmer, which is true, will later conclude that, referring to the weaponization of anti-Semitism, was very much the case. I think the Ford report
yeah.
does do that, but that's all his mention of the Ford report, which makes it sound like that is what the Ford report is about, but it's not. Is it,
So
it tries the Ford report tries to have its cake and eat it basically, and it does basically say what Corbyn said was right, but then it also tries to say that there was a legitimate problem with anti-Semitism and there was mismanagement from it. It's fucking bullshit. It's the kind of bullshit that Starmer would produce, you know.
So
But
are you
anyway,
saying that Tom Nichols is supportive of the Corbyn project here, or are you saying he's kind of very
I
soft
suppose I
support,
suppose what
or
I'm
what?
saying is that people like Tom Nicholas. I don't know about him personally, obviously, but I'm getting a sense that they may have they probably voted for Labour in 2019, reluctantly, and they
Yeah,
probably voted for Starmer in the last election
yeah.
reluctantly, whatever the word is. But this time, but now I think those kinds of voters, often Remainers and quite kind of skeptical of the Corbyn project, but generally supportive and
Mm.
certainly anti-Tory. Those people are really coming round, I think, now to Corbyn. And the
Right.
people, and we could talk about maybe a bit later, that maybe some of the really core. like hardcore Corbyn support are maybe moving away from Corbyn now. Interestingly enough, I could see maybe.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Yes, about because of the Israel thing is what you're thinking.
I think that's something we'll talk about that in a bit, I suppose, but that would be a sign to me of something that it just wouldn't have happened, 5, 10 years ago, whatever. Anyway,
Mm.
let's see what else I wrote before we get over off
Yeah,
this.
please do. Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, actually, there isn't. Oh yeah, so when Starmer wins the election in the documentary, Tom Nicholas says, just this is the beginning of the section of the chapter, as he's put it. This could have been it. After the derailment of the Corbyn years and the chaos of Brexit, Keir Starmer's ascendancy to the prime ministership is interpreted by some in the media as a sign that pragmatism, technocracy, and measured, sensible centrism is back.
Mm.
So he says by some in the media, not himself, obviously. Although that was basically the argument he was making before the election in his last video. And at even the beginning of this sentence, he said, this could have been it.
Yeah,
Like
just what my
he's
parents
saying
wanted.
that. Yeah, just what my parents wanted. But he's saying that. It's a very, I don't know, I just find it very slippery. And I think because of his
That is
hypno.
BBC style.
Yeah, exactly. He's got it down. But then I think, maybe this is the thing. Like he doesn't really think enough about what he's writing. He's
Yeah, because
too worried about his hair.
he's reflecting the
Yeah.
uh, various shifting interests and power dynamics of the Labour Party, um, which is yeah, he's being a bit of a stenographer rather than an analyst,
Yes, but not openly.
but not openly, which is what the BBC does, which makes
Yes.
it kind of more insidious. But they try their best, and they're quite easy to read.
Yeah, it's short articles.
Yeah. Tell you what the BBC should do though is do audio versions of their articles. I can never be fucking bothered to read any
They
of
should
it.
get Tom Nicholas to read them.
Yes, or me, because I do that.
I think you'd do better. I couldn't listen to Tom Nicholas read a fucking whole BBC article.
Yeah.
This is awkward now. I quite liked getting these breaks with the Zoom, but now it's getting like weird because we've sort of spoken about the Tom Nicholas thing now, but we've only got two
Did
minutes.
you have any other quotes? Oh no, I like that. I like it. It's much better. Uh, I'm looking forward to the break. Get a coffee.
No, I like it as
Did
well,
you have
but
any other quotes?
it's you
Take
the
home
thing
message.
the thing the thing is that you're not under the pressure that
Tee
I'm
up
under.
the audience.
Shut
Tee up
up.
the audience for the
You
next
let
bit.
me, please. It's my podcast. Let me do it,
I
please.
know that's why I can ruin it so free and easily.
God damn it.
God, I'd never set up a podcast. What a fucking
I know.
responsibility
What a
that'd be. I'd
fucking
hate it.
idiot. I was much better when I was doing those video essays like Tom Nicholas.
Yeah, you were nailing it.
Yeah, just cut to perfect timing of me saying something and then cut away to a picture of Starmer looking like an idiot. Me looking cool in
Yeah.
4K. Grainy footage of Starmer being a dick. Yeah. Good times.
Get back to that.
I know. Actually, I was thinking of
Winter soon. You can do it then.
yeah, I was thinking about doing another essay actually.
Oh yeah,
Maybe I could write a script and then you could read it and then say, "Oh, that's quite good and that's quite bad." And then I
sure.
could make it. I was going to do it on the decline of the liberal narrative.
Has there been a decline of a liberal narrative?
No, is that's probably not right, is it? See, this is why you're so good. Not the decline, like
The
the fate,
rise.
the rise of it. Yeah, that's what I
You
meant.
could do it like Tom Nichols. Tom Nichols would have the main title being the decline of the liberal narrative, and then actually embedded
Yeah,
in the as the
that's quite good
thumbnail,
actually.
you can say the rise of the
I
liberal
might try and
narrative.
make it as fucking shifty. I'll try and do it like totally deadpan, but as sort of shifty and nonsensical as you could imagine. And so as you go through, it just gets more and more complicated and convoluted, and you're like, what is the point of this? And then and we're back almost, and we're back now, and we're back.
Okay, let's go.
Let's go.
Whoa, look
Let's
like
go, he
Pat
says.
Cash.
That's cool. You look like that guy from Star Trek.
Oh, looks like we're on the Starship Enterprise. Go on, what's going on?
Okay, so Britain might need to get a bailout from the IMF. Do you hear about that?
Really? I
Yeah.
thought that was France.
Yes, France as well, obviously.
Oh, and Britain as well.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty serious. That doesn't usually happen, does it? The last time that happened was Greece, wasn't it?
Uh, I don't know if that was the last
Of I
place.
mean, of the rich countries.
I suppose Greece is rich. I don't know. The last time it happened in the UK was under a Labour government. That's the main thing to take away from this.
When was it?
70s, I think.
Oh, wow. So that would be pretty serious.
It certainly would be bad for Starmer and
Yeah.
his economic competency.
Yeah. God, how did that suddenly creep up on us? Needing a loan from the IMF.
I don't know if it crept up on us.
It's crept up on us for about 35 years.
Yeah. Um, but the other thing, of course, is Nigel Farage just stepped up with his full immigration
Yeah, he says he's going to deport
boondoggle.
600,000 people.
Yeah. It's not.
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
I thought he was going to deport 1 million. So I'm like, where's the ambition? You know?
When
You know
they
what I'm
say
saying?
there are 600,000 people coming into Britain each year, does that mean each year there's another 600,000 people in the country?
Yeah, I guess so. But there are people leaving as
That'd be
well.
like 6 million over 10 years. Wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
but there are
It'd be quite
people
a lot.
leaving. There are a lot of people
People
leaving.
leaving as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess more people are coming than going, but a lot of people are going.
Oh, it does sound tricky, doesn't it?
What? Deporting 600,000 people?
Yes, that's going to be really difficult. How are you going to get the boats to do that? Dunkirk spirit. Everyone, just anyone with a small boat has to take them all out to France. Oh my
No, I
God.
assume they'll be flying.
We won't have the carriers for it. We won't have the big tankers to do such a thing.
No, they'll be
You don't give
flying.
them all a plane ticket.
Yeah, I think they will.
You give them all a plane ticket.
Yeah.
Fly them out. That's going to be the most
It's cheaper to
expensive.
fly, as you fucking should. The ferries are fucking fortune and the train. Get an easy jet flight for 12 quid. Get over to Greece. They can sort it
Well,
out.
so I've got to pay the immigrant for an EasyJet when I can't afford to take my own family to fucking wherever the fuck they're going.
Well, I
To butt
mean,
twat.
this is the thing. I mean, obviously, it's going to cost a lot of money. Unless that,
Sounds
I
like a
could
right
see,
old mess.
I could see they could get a lot of volunteers to do it, actually.
To fly planes.
Yeah.
Fucking
Round up immigrants, learn how to fly a plane, and then fly the plane. It's a completely voluntary
like
system.
Dunkirk.
Like
How
like
we
the
won at Dunkirk.
like everything in this country, it'll be just held together by a few people that'll be paid at the top, and
Yeah,
then just loads of
yeah.
volunteers and temp workers who are
Temp workers,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So
Loads of signs on
last
next to
week,
like the lost cat signs on the
yeah,
lamppost. It would be like,
last
can
week they
can
were
you fly a plane? Are you retired but you've flown a plane? If you haven't flown a plane, have you used an engine? Can you turn on a lawnmower or a chainsaw? Then come down to the docks, and we're gonna get rid of the
come down
immigrants
to the
by
docks so we can mug
down
you.
to the docks, and we'll be taking, and you can fly one of the planes that we've made. It's all going to be fucking. It just sounds like such a shoestring operation of
Well, the
just
alternative
gaggle
is
of fucking cat
well,
herding
either you
crap.
use G4S and all of that shit, those people, or yeah, you actually build at scale a big government department and immigration force team thing.
They're going to end up at the end. They'll be like, "Do you know what? We've realised it's too expensive to take them over and play. What we're going to build is a massive hotel
Yeah.
on the coast
Where land is cheap.
where." Yeah, where it's already fucking run down to shit anyway because of successive governments,
Exactly.
and they're just going to dump
And then they'll be like, oh,
And we need
actually,
them as well to pick the fruit or some
we
fucking
just
cockles or something.
noticed that in all of these coastal towns, there's loads of empty hotels anyway because they used to be a big
Yeah,
tourist area,
yeah,
but they're not anymore. But the infrastructure's all still there,
yeah,
so we could
yeah.
use that,
So we
couldn't
can just use
fucks?
that, and that will save money. And eventually, we're going to save up enough money to put wings on these hotels, and then they're
Yeah,
going to
that's.
fly
Did you
to
ever
fucking France.
did you ever play SimCity, SimCity 2000? That's how the game
No,
ends. If you win the game, the
no
buildings
way.
get wing. Well, they get like a rocket
Oh,
booster and they escape Earth.
yeah, I do remember. That's a memory from about fucking 40 years ago.
Yeah, I know
Like
that.
the first edition of Sims, and you develop space travel with little um
That'll be
block
like
graphics.
there'll be the nice hotel, and that'll get like a rocket booster and start going to Mars. That'll have Elon Musk on it, and next to it'll be the shit hotel, and they'll take off together. But that one will just start to go down towards Africa.
Oh no. Uh, yeah, but I'm sure they'll sort it out one way or another.
Oh, they'll sort it out all right. I mean, yeah, it does seem like the UK is possibly on the brink. I mean, that's the thing. If it does end up getting this fucking loan, then the ramifications of that are going to be even more cuts to everything.
But when you get an IMF loan, does it come with loads of conditions
That's
attached,
what I'm saying. Yeah,
or is it like, oh, they've given us the loan? That was really silly of them to do it on a Friday because we're gonna get fucking
I don't
wasted
know what
over
the
the weekend.
IMF can do if you don't fucking do what they tell you to do. Who
Might make us
knows?
join Brexit again, whatever it's fucking
They're
called,
gonna make
Europe.
well. That's what people are saying that they'll be like, oh, you got to
So
join the
Starmer
EU.
wants it to happen, really. He's like, oh, yeah, we want to get back in the EU. Let's get an IMF loan. Let's make a country as poor as possible so we can join back in the EU.
Could well be
Because
that.
I like the seven dwarves of Armageddon. I like the man who runs the France.
Yeah,
Everything
it
stop.
could. I
Could be
like
that, couldn't
you've got so many different Starmer impressions.
it?
The seven
It's
Starmer
because I
impressions.
may not be consistent with the
No, it's
impression of
good. It's
Starmer,
there's
but
lots of
my
sides to him. Besides,
consistency is in my massive irritation with the fucking man.
yes, but anyway, I think probably Farage is over promising. Uh,
And
thanks.
under delivering, that
Uh,
sounds unlike him.
I think it probably. I mean, if they win the election, who knows what the fuck if there'll even be an election at this point. I have no idea. So there's that.
I wouldn't trust him to buy fucking cigarettes at the fucking duty free. Probably smoke them all on the way home.
The
Be
other
like,
thing,
Nigel.
the other thing to talk about is obviously the new party, our savior from this mess.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Have you got something on your nose?
Yeah, it's a moustache.
No. On your nose. It's like a white dot.
Let's talk about Jeremy Corbyn.
What is
That I
that?
like him. He's oh God, what the hell happened? Right. Are we there yet? Have we won?
That is a
Is
good.
it still 2017?
Your party, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Would be a great slogan.
Yeah. It's just a little kid in the back seat
Yeah.
kicking the kicking the
Kicking the immigrants out of the car.
no, kicking the back of the chair. The immigrants.
The immigrant Uber driver is driving the car. Something like that. Anyway, well, I mean, yeah, well, so we were talking about before Tom Nicholas. I think there is obviously I think the feeling was sort of post 2019 that, and I guess this is probably true to some extent, that a lot of the people that supported Corbyn and stuff were uh, skeptical about
Anti-Semites.
anti-Semitic. You got this on your nose. What is this thing on your nose?
Get on with it. Just forget about me. This is your time to shine.
Yes. All right. You're right. But that's why you've got to
I'm just
be.
here because it would look weird for you to do it on your own.
But I know exactly. But it looks weird if you've got something on your nose as well.
You have to
It's
airbrush that
this
out at the
tight
end.
like parameter between which it doesn't look weird. You've got to make that balancing act.
Okay,
Yeah, but that
now get on with it.
you're the one. that whenever I actually try and say anything, it's constantly interrupting. And then you get annoyed with me. This is great. I feel like a politician now. Well, if you just let me explain, I would tell you, I would gladly say what I've come here to say, but you've interrupted so many times, Matthew Alfred and I.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
really
I'm
put
gonna
out by the
that
whole
I've
thing.
not been able to formally
Yeah.
deny the murder. That's your fault.
Yeah.
Right, come.
I don't know. I just feel like, um, yeah, there's massive support for this party to the point where it's the people that you would think would be I know there's a core support for Corbynism. Like, what is this on your nose? What the fuck are you drinking? Is it what is it? Frothy milk?
Just, just cream in my coffee.
Okay. All right. Do you have one of
Oh,
those foamer things?
just cream. Find that because I get milk delivered,
Oh,
it's
do you?
awkward.
That's
Oh,
nice.
yeah, very old fashioned.
My mum gets.
Uh, I obviously the problem with having milk delivered is that for about half the year it goes off in about 5 seconds because it's been outdoors in the
Because you
sun.
don't wake up till like 4 in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
exactly. Yeah.
I get it.
So I also have a little thing of cream for when the milk's gone fucking stench, stick, scroty scum. And so I drink milk for in coffee for about a quarter of the week. Carry on.
So yeah,
Get it out.
the liberal argument, idea about what's going on in the world and about
Hmm.
politics, that's basically crumbled. And partly a part of that is the narrative around Jeremy Corbyn in 2019 and anti-Semitism and Israel. And that's all come together over the last few years. That actually Israel is not a good faith actor, and actually people that were warning about Israel maybe had something to say about it. And actually, the way that Corbyn was treated was unfair. And actually, Keir
Mm,
Starmer isn't the great leader that we were led to believe. And actually, a Labour Party run under that kind of political leadership won't be successful, as we can see as happening right now.
mm.
And so I think all of that kind of stuff. Now, I don't think that's exactly the reasons why things aren't working out very well, but that's certainly the sort of perception
Working out very well for what? For the
for the
government or for the
country, for
society?
everyone, for me, Matt,
Mm,
and this podcast
yeah.
mainly. But I think that's a really widely held view at this point, and that's why this political party it obviously is left wing, right? To some extent, if you're going to define it, right? But it doesn't actually have any policies. The
Mm,
reason that people are saying these kind of things is because of some of the rhetoric that's come out of it, but mainly because of the people involved, Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. And
mm,
it is the attraction to those politicians, particularly Corbyn, by a large amount of people in the country who, many who were always supportive, many whose support went up and down. Talking about maybe Owen Jones, maybe not.
mm,
Uh, and certainly people who were not fans of Corbyn before have become fans of Corbyn,
mm,
um, having having their views changed, having because of what they've seen sort of happen over the last few years. Now, on the same time, other people, I think, who when Corbyn was leader of the Labour Party and was struggling with this establishment party that had great power in the country anyway because of its position over the last 100 years, and also was full of the sort of people that you wouldn't want in a left-wing party. People were very sympathetic to Jeremy Corbyn as the leader of that party, trying to steer that ship.
mm,
Some of those people are now not sympathetic to Corbyn
mm,
and
mm,
his new party because they see it as, well, this is, well, they see it as their baby. Never mind Corbyn's baby, it's their baby. And Corbyn should be doing
mm,
what they think should be done. And one clear example of this is the sort of controversy that came out on Twitter a few days ago where Corbyn was at some event, pro-Palestinian thing, he was speaking, and someone asked him if he was anti-Zionist, and he
mm,
refused to say that he was. The reason they asked, of course, was because Zara Sultana came out and said she was anti-Zionist on Twitter a day or two earlier. But there's problems on all this kind of stuff because then one of the independent MPs, Muslim independent MPs who got voted on primarily because of their support of pro-Palestinian support, um, who was very much on side with Corbyn,
Mm.
I don't want to say attacked Zara Sultana, but said something to the effect of, well, you didn't say that a few months ago when you were a Labour MP. Since when have you been an anti-Zionist? So there's like public fallings out and
Mm.
arguments going on in this kind of thing. But to get back to the main point about this is, um, I think it was good that Zara Sultana said that. I think it was fine. I think it would be quite clear to most people where Zara Sultana stands on this. I think it's pretty clear where Jeremy Corbyn stands on this. But for Jeremy Corbyn to say that he's an anti-Zionist, um, after the sort of histories he's had, and since he is one of the most recognized politicians in the country, we were saying this to Benjamin Studebaker, it's ridiculous. You see Keir Starmer, who I guess people know just about, they could probably pick him out of a lineup, but not with some other fucking, not if it was Morrissey and Stuart Lee standing next to him, they probably couldn't pick him out. But him and what's her face, complete nobody knows. The most
Morrissey
fame
would never stand in line with Keir Starmer and Stuart Lee.
and they have you've got in the
And the
corner
police are behind the glass.
in the
Sorry.
independent bit, you've got the police behind the glass, mate. He's
Glass.
from the
Sorry, Mr.
north.
Morrissey. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, they would. The most popular people, most recognizable people are standing in the corner, independents, Corbyn sitting behind Nigel Farage. That is where all of the attention, all of the action is in politics now, not on the front benches, which there's a bizarre thing. And
Mm,
I think,
yeah.
they said, so Corbyn didn't come out and say he was Zionist. I can understand why he might be reluctant to do that, considering the
Mm.
flack he's been under. But it's quite funny to see him now, after years of being called an anti-Semite, now being accused of not being anti-Zionist enough by a different faction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think on the one hand, if he is going to be leader, which he should be, then you don't want him to be making sort of big pronouncements, big kind of extreme statements, right? You want other people, what they call the attack dogs and stuff, to be doing this kind of thing. And then you want him. And I know that, and I feel dirty saying that kind of stuff because that's the kind of tactical nastiness that you
But
get
it's
in
also not
politics.
really necessary. It's not, I don't know, because the purpose of being a leader, and particularly the style of leader that Jeremy Corbyn was and is he's very collegiate. And he was the kind of person who tried to build consensus. And what he always said with the peace negotiations and stuff is, well, I won't call that group of people a horrible name because we're trying to negotiate a peace and we want to do that in a way that is friendly. And that's more important than sticking labels on people for whatever reason.
Yeah. I mean, there's another side to this, which is that anti-Zionism, as it's understood by a lot of the people that are attacking Corbyn, means that you want a one-state solution because
Yeah.
two states would obviously involve a Zionist state of some sort, right?
Yeah, there is. So let me just interrupt. There is definitely. There's not a straightforward argument. This, I don't think. It's not a. Oh, Jeremy's done the right thing there, or Jeremy's done. I think there are two sides to it, and for exactly that reason, because the people who are calling for a two-state solution are, I think even like David Lammy and a lot of the
Oh,
Labour establishment is calling for
everybody,
that
yeah,
now.
yeah,
But that's kind of like a we know that that's completely pointless now because you've just destroyed half of one of the states anyway. Anyway, sorry, Carol. I don't think it's simple anyway, but I do. Yeah,
yeah. Well,
I
like
think
I
the point
said,
is Corbyn needs to be a strong leader, but without necessarily just hoofing his way through a bunch of fucking as firebrandy sort of uh, language as possible. So he needs to show strength, but without necessarily kowtowing to the other side of his party.
Well, I have an argument
Please go on.
against that.
Oh no, it's awkward, isn't it? So it's
So,
like, oh well, if it's fucking that difficult for us all to agree, even when we're being reasonable, it's like maybe just accept that it's quite difficult and don't give Jeremy Corbyn a hard time and just go with the fucking, it's just tricky, isn't it?
yeah.
Who knows what the fucking effect on the electorate would be anyway of saying that or not saying that or whatever.
Well,
I
no,
think just have to trust a bit, don't you?
yeah. So the thing with the anti-Zionist issue is that what do you mean by anti-Zionist, right?
Mm,
Because
mm,
in a sense, it's like you want to say this because then it sort of pits you, at your identity as hardline as against the state of Israel, right?
yeah,
Um, but in terms of like definitions on the ground, yeah, you would say it sort of goes between a one-state solution, a two-state solution. Two-state solution, by definition, you would say you must be to some degree a Zionist. But the problem with that is that the majority of Palestinians in Gaza want a two-state solution.
two-state solution. Mm.
So are you supporting, and I think, at this point, it's almost ridiculous to argue which is better or worse or more
Yeah,
likely. I mean, just none of
yeah,
it looks like it would ever happen. It's just gonna be,
yeah,
I mean, the main thing at this point is that maybe like stop fucking people from dying, stop
yeah.
murdering people, stop starving people. It's like, well, we could have a two-state solution in 10 years. Here's my plan. It's like,
Mm,
no, it fucking
mm,
doesn't matter, right? The thing,
yeah,
but anyway, so that as an issue, means that, are you do you support one state because, does that mean that you don't support the Palestinian people's right to
yeah,
self-determination?
yeah,
It's like, are you actually really grappling with the issues that, or do you just want to be, it's like, yeah, I said I'm anti-Zionist because I'm
yeah.
like, really, I went to one march for a while. I got a bit bored and hungry, so I went to prayer in the end. But I did half an hour of walking. What's Jeremy Corbyn ever done? He can't even come out and say I'm a anti-Zionist. I mean, it's like
Mm,
the thing is like Jeremy Corbyn, his whole life has been dedicated to this cause, and I don't know about the people who are talking to him on that day, but obviously a lot of people have come to this
mm,
issue, or this issue has become to their attention. They've become passionate and animated about it in recent years. I mean, for obvious reasons, but it's like, to go to Jeremy Corbyn, like, oh, Jeremy Corbyn, he's not fighting enough for the Palestinian people. Like, of anyone, that's
mm,
what was so crazy about the anti-Semitism thing. It was like Jeremy Corbyn, a racist. It's like, just for fuck's sake,
mm,
man. Like,
mm.
yeah, okay, everybody's a little bit racist, but probably not him. He's like the only one that isn't. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about that, I think, and I think I'd like to give Jeremy a bit of an easier time on it because it's also like what if Corbyn does become leader of this actual party, even if he became leader of the country, what would what difference would it actually make as to whether he said he was Zionist or anti-Zionist or whatever it is? At the end of the day, the policy it will be don't sell arms to Israel, negotiate for a meaningful peace at the United Nations and with international partners. At the end of the day, how you label that is, it's not going to make a great deal of difference, particularly as the guy who will be in the White House. Let's assume that it's still Donald Trump for the next 3 years.
He'll be
The
dead.
guy who will be in the White House will not be take very kindly to some what he will consider to be some kind of lunatic, radical anti-imperialist in number 10 Frowning Street. So it's
I'm warming
so
to this,
so
Morrissey
it's like
son.
I don't know. It just seems at the end of the day we need to get decent people into office, and I'm just with Corbyn really on whatever he decides to do there. But at the same time, I do acknowledge that the problem that he did, as Chris, what's his name, MP, who I like, the bloke who got
George
kicked
Galloway?
out of the Labour Party. No, not
George Galloway.
Galloway. Chris Thingy.
Chris, is that
Mm, you know
Chris
him.
Hemsworth?
No. Anyway, him, Chris
Chris
Williamson,
Williamson. Yeah.
as he's
Okay.
because he got basically Corbyn wasn't very supportive of him and some other people on
He's
the
not the only
fringes of the
one.
party,
Yeah.
and really Corbyn and that lot should have stood up for their friends and for the right thing at the right time there. And so there is that problem of Jeremy just being a bit too nice, but people have been saying that for a long
You
time.
mean too
But I
nice
do think
to
that
the
is an
wrong
issue.
people, not nice to people like Chris Williamson.
Well, well, it depends what you mean by the term nice, doesn't it? But you know, I, he's just a bit. He is accommodating and he's a compromiser, and that's a really good thing to have in a middle-sized, middle power like Britain.
I mean, I don't want to really negate the whole
That's
fucking
already very unequal.
anti-Semitism thing, and I think there is an argument. I think you're right. I think there is an argument there that
What do you think? Do you actually agree with me,
well, in
or not?
terms of like throwing people under the bus, I think you could certainly see it that way. Like there was a judgment call was made that if we're seen to act, if we're seen to do big sweeping things like
Mm,
fuck over I was going to say Ken Loach, Ken Livingston, fuck
mm.
over Chris Williamson, then things might
Yeah,
work
they'll
out.
throw
Which
us a bone.
yeah,
Mm.
that's exactly right. Okay, but I think on the other hand, you could say it's really easy with hindsight, and it
Of
was
course.
an
Yeah.
absolutely unprecedented attack,
Mm, mm,
highly personal attack on
hmm
Corbyn as an individual, as a fucking racist Jew
mm,
hater,
mm,
right? I
hmm
mean, it's absolutely incredible that this was being said across the media and by uh, members of his own party. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
wouldn't have coped. I definitely wouldn't have coped. I
no,
think Jeremy did.
and I
To
think that,
clarify, I think Jeremy did brilliantly.
and I wonder about that,
It's,
whether if that makes him quite reluctant to be how much of involvement he wants to have in this new
I'm not
party.
surprised. It's probably
I don't know
yeah,
if he does. I'm
it must be
surprised.
horrible.
This is why I thought it would never happen, actually.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
And I think it's probably why he's got Zara Sultana in as well, not just as someone who's,
yeah, because
very
a
different.
Muslim, that'll help. But no, I mean,
Yeah. Well, I was going to say someone of a very different, different age and different gender.
yeah, yeah. But someone
But
who is
also
very,
that provides legacy, I think,
yeah,
for your party, doesn't it? I think. But yeah, of course. I mean, so many of those people just seem so traumatized by what happened. Chris Williamson being one, and Jeremy, and it's like, ugh, they're natural allies and they're goodies, I think. But under such difficult circumstances, it can create problems and create non-ideal
but I think what
decisions.
you can talk about it, and I think we have talked to death about the anti-Zionism sort of thing. But the largest point I think out of this is as a sort of you could see what may emerge is a reframing of Corbyn
Mm,
as quite an establishment figure, which was kind of what
mm,
was being fashioned about him in 2019 as being this kind of Remainer, against the sort of insurgent force in Britain, which was the voice of the people, Brexit, let's get it done, let's fuck the establishment and the EU and all of that, right? And Corbyn was increasingly sort of being aligned with that, with being as part of the establishment. In a way, for a lot of people, he'd already ran an election. He was well known in that regard, as in a way that in 2017 he was completely unknown. And people are like, oh, this guy sounds like he's all right. He's saying the right thing. And I think you can see now with this new party, there will be obviously a lot of people that will be wanting the party to be extremely left wing.
mm,
And I mean, it's interesting because it's Corbyn, as I was saying before, Corbyn was never the left wing program that he had under the Labour Party was quite moderate, really.
mm. Yeah,
Just
he's a social
we live in
democrat. And
extreme times, yeah.
can I make one point about that as well? It's just like at the end of the day, you got to go with what you've got. If we in Western countries follow the policies of Jeremy Corbyn, then life for people will be a lot better. There'll be a lot less conflict, and we'll probably evade the nightmare of nuclear use of some kind, and we'll probably evade the evade climate catastrophe, all those kind of things. If we don't follow those kind of policies, we probably won't avoid those problems in the next few years. So at the end of the day, that's we've got to go with what we've got. That's the obvious thing to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
Maybe.
enough. Like if you want to measure things, but I'm not saying it's a perfect measurement of it, but Corbyn's change would be so significant to Britain that it would be enough to rectify a shitload of the problems.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to come back to this. I suppose I'm sure
Yeah.
we will. I'm sure we will because we only got 10 minutes left, and we do
Oh, we
need to
want to do
do
comments.
we do need to do comments
Let's do it.
because otherwise we don't do them, and then they get lost
Yeah.
forever. Uh, can you see that?
I can just about see it. Yeah.
All right, let's do comments. Roll the music, Matt.
Diddle-a-did-did-did. Comments.
That's pretty good. Maybe you should get your ukulele out next time, and we'll get some new. Have you got it right now? I cut you off so we could do comments, and now I'm
Go on, let's do
fucking
comments.
yeah. All right, so here we go. Paul D2332. Is this available as an audio podcast anywhere? Matt.
I don't know. I don't. I don't listen to it.
It is
It
Paul.
is. Where is it though, Dan?
I'll just reply to him now. It
Oh,
is available. I'm typing with one hand. It is available on
Spotify.
Spotify and all those
Good
things.
bookshops.
And there you go. Bang.
Next one
Okay.
is from Yolanda. Go being cool.
I think my
Now this
computer.
one, I did see this one. I'm worried about this one, Dan. You'll
Which one?
James Pittman, 5450, 3 days ago, he said, on the last episode, you read out my comment,
Oh, don't
but
say his
didn't.
name. I wasn't going to say his name to piss him off again. Fuck. Oh,
Oh,
well.
well, you don't have to.
I'll
On
never
the
say
last,
his name
you read out my
ever.
comment, but you didn't read out my name, so I shan't bother again.
Yeah,
And
well,
I
he
said,
already
sorry, James,
did,
I'll
didn't he?
tell him off.
That's the joke, isn't it, with that guy?
Oh,
Ever
yeah.
the ever the prankster.
Yeah.
Um,
And he
then
said, oh, he's replied.
yeah, he
I didn't
said,
see that.
now you've broken into the big time. He's probably out buying £20 cheese on toast in Walthamstow Village, which is so.
Oh,
But what is he talking about? This podcast is getting less and less. This channel is getting less subscribers week by the week and less views for each episode. So
is
he
it really?
can fuck off with his sarky
I
comments.
think that James Pittman 5450 was setting us up for a funny joke that we've just both fucking mangled
No,
in slightly different ways. Sorry about
fuck
that,
off.
James Pittman 5450.
No, Jay, I will never. No, I will never say the name. He's like Voldemort.
No, he won't
Drinking
say
moldy
it.
coffee, shaving your foot, can't use a mic stand, call social services. Matt's obviously very vulnerable adult. Yeah, that's what I'm taking full advantage of that by forcing him to do this podcast. It's like one of those drug gangs that sort of abducts somebody, pretends to be their friend, but then uses their house to sell drugs for them.
I haven't heard of such a thing. Sounds
No,
great.
you wouldn't. That's for
So that I
people
don't
like
live in
me.
Walthamstow.
That's for people like me to know. So that,
Oh, 'cause-
and
yeah.
here we go. Good chat, chaps. Another comment for you.
Oh, yes, I saw this.
I'm in the middle
Oh,
of.
I watched Tommy Robinson on trigonometry, and Konstantin Pisson contest was trying to normalize Tommy's views on Islam. Became difficult when Tommy admits he wants 1 million Muslims deported, even if they're British, on the grounds that they want Sharia law. Not defensible on free speech grounds, is it? But what should the left position be on extremely conservative religious views widespread amongst a large growing minority? That is Javinder Collington. And I don't know if we've got
Javinder.
long enough. That's a fucking difficult question, isn't it? Well, I don't know what
Luckily-
you've done. Should we answer that another time?
We've only got
I guess.
five.
I guess I do. I'm pretty close to being a fundamentalist on free speech. So if people say stupid shit, they just fucking say it. But I do I do feel your sort of fear there, Javid. What do you think, Dan? Or do you want to move on to the next one?
Um, not defensible on free speech grounds, is it? What isn't defensible? Deporting.
Saying Tommy Robinson saying that we should deport 1 million Muslims. I mean, I think it's not a defensible position in common sense grounds or moral grounds, but I do think that people should be able to say
Even if they're
stuff, I
British.
suppose.
Well, I mean, like, even if
It's
they're
just a fucking
British.
stupid thing to say, I want to fucking machine gun a fucking dinosaur, but you're not going to be able to fucking do it, and everyone thinks you're a fucking idiot for saying it.
Well, some people don't think he's an idiot, do they? I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
This is the attack dog vanguard sort of thing. You get people like Tommy Robinson shooting their mouth off about this kind of thing, and that kind of pushes. That's where the this kind of um I was going to say Ovid window,
The
Overton,
Onan window,
yeah,
the window of Onanism.
the Ovid window, and it's like anyway. I mean,
It is an issue. I do get
but what about the second point?
what you're
What
saying.
should the left position be on extremely conservative religious views, widespread among a large growing minority?
Another difficult question.
The interesting thing is that I think
It's their
again,
views. It's not. It's
can
not
I
our...
fucking say something?
No.
Jesus
I mean, yes. I haven't got anything to say on that one. It's too difficult.
So
Very good.
you
Difficult
interrupted
question.
with nothing to say. Go on,
Yeah,
get on with
I
it.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think the interesting thing is that people assumed 20 years ago, sort of part of this end of history malarkey, that everybody worldwide, and certainly people that were moving to Western countries, would gradually become more atheist.
Yeah, and
And
that's just not happened at all.
that hasn't happened. And in fact, there's, as I think I was saying last time, there's now, as this kind of reaction to Muslim communities, there is a kind of wanting to go back to some kind of Christian uh, British community kind of value thing, where people want to kind of see Britain as more of a Christian country again, and
Yeah, I
as a
guess
way of
people.
rejecting.
I'll just point out that everyone's got fucking stupid views. It doesn't matter what religion they are. There's fucking new age fucking bullshit about fucking ghosts and fucking aliens and fucking people who believe in fucking giants and it's also it doesn't really matter. Like, what can you do about it? It's just there. People believe stupid fucking things. They're generally in movements of fucking nutters. And what's our position on that? It's like having a position on a fucking on a mountain. The fucking mountain's just there. What are you gonna do about it? Just try and fucking get on with life and make a nicer country as best you can.
Well, what about? But it's talking about conservative religious views.
But loads of views are conservative or fucking mad in one fucking way or another. Fucking megatastic liberal views are conservative in their
I
own
do
way because
think
they're all authoritarian.
I do.
Whatever.
A part of me does think that
Go on.
you want to argue about these things on in a democratic basis and put forward an argument for why certain ways of living are better than other ways, and not attacking
Yeah,
any particular religion, but
yeah,
saying, look, in my view, I
yeah,
think that it's better if people are allowed to express themselves in how they dress, and I don't like the idea of communities coming together and putting pressure on people. I understand that some people there is a problem there because people will want to keep hold of their own culture and they want to dress a particular way. But I don't think anybody should ever be forced to, and I also don't think they should be forced not to, which is why I'm against the
yeah. So
burqa ban
have
and stuff
some
like that.
faith in the democratic process. Have some faith in freedom of speech to
I suppose this is
develop
the thing.
these arguments.
There is less and less faith that what we've actually built in Europe and the US is
Yeah, but
actually
we
any
need to
good.
renew that faith. We need to
Do we?
fight for that.
But the
We
funny
need to
thing
fight
is,
for
the
that.
people that are really think that they're fighting for that are actually kind of destroying it,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So don't fight. You've got to fight for the whole thing, for the right for everyone. That's why freedom of speech is important. You don't fight against any particular individual group. You fight
You and
for
your
the
freedom of speech.
civilization.
Unbelievable. We've got less than a minute left.
And now the next
Mainly
comment.
watching to see if Matt